So the official interest rate in Australia is at 4.5% and the price of a value pack of Nutrigrain is $10. And Zwift decides that this is the opportune time to up their price 1/3. As a result, I've been on the hunt for the ultimate Zwift alternative, and the outcome, honestly, has surprised me. So let's dive in. So platforms that I've been sussing out are Rouvy, MyWhoosh and indieVelo. If you don't know anything about these platforms, I recommend that you go and watch the videos that I have already done that are deeper dives, and there'll be tags popping up for each of those as I talk about each one. This is really just about ranking them in my opinion and touching on some key features. So please don't get upset if I diss your favorite app. So let's talk about the one that I'm gonna diss, Rouvy. Rouvy is actually super cool because you can ride like legitimate routes. You can ride through Paris, you can ride up the Huez, and you can ride bloody Las Vegas at night. Like, how cool is that? All of these have been either shot in 360 degrees with cameras mounted on top of a motorcyclist helmet, I believe, or on cyclist GoPros that I think you can submit. A massive plus for Rouvy is the amount of rides available. There are literally hundreds of different courses that you can do, and all of these are legitimate and pretty cool courses. You can ride Kangaroo Valley in Australia, which I thought was a bit of a hidden gem that I'd discovered. But yeah, it's on Rouvy, which is amazing. And if you are using Rouvy, you should definitely go and ride Kangaroo Valley. It is gorgeous. A downside is that you can't deviate from these courses because they're literally a car or a motorbike or a cyclist riding that course and uploading them. So there's no opportunity to turn left or right. There's no exploration. The app looks gorgeous, but the companion app absolutely sucks. And the overall experience lacks a personality that comes out with some of these other apps I reviewed. The real drag for Rouvy is the price though. This comes in at around 20 Australian dollars, with Zwift being 30 Australian dollars. And honestly, the key takeaway from this is I reckon you're better off just investing that extra $10 a month and getting Zwift. Rouvy does have a loyalty plan. This is a bit confusing, and unfortunately it only applies to the year subscription, not to the month by month. There's a link in the description if you want to see the breakdown of that if you are interested. The pricing, coupled with a lack of riders and a pretty substandard racing option, means that Rouvy is not the choice that I would go with. MyWhoosh is an example of what happens when a country has too much money and a shit image. MyWhoosh is free. Big win. MyWhoosh is blatant sports washing. Bit of a downer. The fact that in its current state, MyWhoosh has a UCI contract ongoing for the next 2 years is a sign that a significant amount of money has passed from the UAE to the UCI. That's a shame. MyWhoosh does take racing seriously, and having spoken to Nick Spratt, who's a local boy and rides competitively, semi-professionally with Sunday Race Club, it's a pretty legitimate racing system, providing that you have 2 power meters or a trainer with a power meter and a secondary power meter to verify your power numbers, and you're willing to video yourself weighing yourself once a month to verify the weight that you're putting in and ensure that there is no cheating. This is fair because there's a bit of money involved in this. If this, however, is a bridge too far for you and you just want to have fun racing, it's pretty much a non-starter and this is not the app for you. The training plans are great though, and I'm currently doing an 8-week program through MyWhoosh. I like the fact that the workouts are often explained to you while you're doing them, and this is even more in depth than Zwift does. This makes your training feel rewarding and valuable. And the workouts are more enjoyable and the worlds are vibrant. With good graphics, I've enjoyed this. I cannot get the Apple TV app to work, but apparently there is one and it does work. And it also requires a gaming computer if you want to experience MyWhoosh in all its glory. Otherwise, there is MyWhoosh Go, which you will probably have to download if you do not have something that can handle the graphic requirements. Finally, we have indieVelo. When I was starting the week on indieVelo, I was a little bit despondent. Kind of felt like I'd peaked with MyWhoosh and that this was really just a week away from the program that I actually wanted to stay with, MyWhoosh. And I was kind of wasting my time. I was wrong. It is very much last but not least, let's do indieVelo. Where MyWhoosh and Rouvy lack any real heart, indieVelo has that in spades. The fact this whole thing runs off the work of one solo programmer is insane. Constant updates give me hope for the future of indieVelo, and the racing is excellent. The physics in-game are awesome. indieVelo uses bots to fill its world, which at first I thought would be to its detriment. However, these feel alive and they create a world that feels alive in a way that only Zwift feels. The workouts are solid and the interface feels very familiar to someone jumping over from Zwift. There is less emphasis on watts per kilo and a greater focus on tactics and learning the system. indieVelo feels like a game in a way that these other apps just don't. You could truly master racing in indieVelo, and that is honestly its biggest draw card. There are no training programs per se, but there are individual workouts that you can tailor to a training program, or you can, if you have a coach, sync your programs across. They're using Training Peaks or Trainer Road, I guess, and you can design your own programs if you're smart enough to do that. indieVelo is also free. You can join the Founders Club. This isn't a small cost though. It is about the same as Rouvy, about 20 Australian dollars a month, and I'm personally just not feeling like there is enough there at the moment for me to cancel my $30 Zwift subscription, go on this journey, and then jump into a $20 a month subscription for something that just doesn't feel finished yet. However, if riding MyWhoosh leaves a bit of taste in your mouth, this might be the Listerine for you. Paying 20 bucks a month for this might be your opportunity to jump on something really good. If you're into doing things like,
A few moments later.
If you're into doing things like Kickstarter, this might be something that might appeal to you. But at the moment, I'm just not there, man. At the end of the day, where I landed is a hybrid model. I'm going to do my training through MyWhoosh and my racing through indieVelo. I immediately cancelled Rouvy after 6 days because on the 7th, my free trial was going to end and my paid subscription was going to begin, and I honestly have no interest in paying for Rouvy. I know these things are super subjective, and I'm sure all of these have their niche. I guess the key takeaway from this really is the fact that there is no standout competitor to Zwift. There are no real clear alternatives for what Zwift has in regards to its variety, its user base, investment in the software, the world that they've created, the level of immersion, the availability of races, and at the end of the day, like the fun in the game, nothing can match it. That being said, at $300 a year, it's fun that honestly I can currently do without. The most fun that you can have, in my personal opinion, with cycling is outdoors, and your training supplements that, and that's what indoor cycling is for me. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I'd like to take this opportunity to say, honestly, thank you for watching. The MyWhoosh video in particular has done really well. It's my best performing video ever, and I'm really proud of that. So genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everyone that's engaged. Thank you for everyone that's left a comment. I've really enjoyed reading them and getting an understanding for where everyone is at. If you've enjoyed this series, please consider subscribing. We are now past 750 subscribers and on the road to 1,000. And that would be huge for me. Otherwise, cheers, leave a like, peace.